As you know, Ramani, the government is currently using the Prevention of Terrorism Act against the peaceful protesters or unarmed protesters, and there seems to be a crackdown on protesters. What are your thoughts?
The Prevention of Terrorism Act, Saroj, as we've discussed many times, is a very serious law meant to be used in very limited circumstances. It's not meant to be used as an ordinary law enforcement process. Here, the maximum the state can say is they don't like the fact that people go on protest against their ideology. You know, that the state can't really hold a protest illegal due to that. But anyway, that may be the greatest offense that these protesters have committed. And to use the Prevention of Terrorism Act, which is meant to be for when there's bombings of our railway station and central bank and those type of places, to arrest people who are protesters sounds totally ludicrous, actually.
In addition to that, Ramani, the President Ranil Wickremesinghe has signed a detention order against student leaders, 3 student leaders, and including including Wasantha Mudalige, the convener of Inter-University Student Federation. There have been, of course, international outcry, but the detention order was signed even after Mary Lawlor, the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Human Rights Defenders, expressed serious concern, and she said, in her words, if President signs this detention order, it would be a dark day for Sri Lanka.
Well, it is a dark day for Sri Lanka, no, Saroj. As I said, when you use such a serious law to arrest and detain a person who's accused of conducting protests, it's very sad. It can't be maintained, actually. I'm shocked that he signed the DO the day after that statement was made.
Wasantha Mudalige in particular is a member of the indigenous Vedda community. His mother is a member of the Vedda community. There have been a lot of social media posts, with hate and with anger against directing at the community. I mean, this seems to be a very, very dangerous and disturbing trend, isn't it?
Well, as you know, Sri Lankans love creating these enemies, the minority communities. We've had Tamils. Second, we have the Muslims. Now, if they start focusing on the Adivasis, that's a very dangerous trend, because it's a very well-known path for Sri Lankans to walk on. They like it. Once you are told not just that this is a protester, he's a nuisance, he's holding protest, but he's a member of a minority community, our indigenous community maybe, but still a minority community, Sri Lankans will love to hear that and will start believing that he is a terrorist, actually.
So in our mindset, what you are saying is, in our mindset, all the minorities are terrorists.
Well, that's what it seems like, no? First Tamils, then Muslims. Okay, you hear comments about Christians all the time. We saw all these churches burned, places of worship burned. Now, I think I'm afraid, oh man, I'm very afraid actually, because it's possible that the indigenous community will be this target now. No, the government is desperate because they're having a serious economic crisis to deal with. Okay. Instead, they've gone and diverted the attention, their own attention, and they're running around behind a group of protesters. Now, the only way they can justify spending so much time running behind protesters is if they are terrorists. And then it's very convenient if these so-called terrorists belong to a particular ethnic group. And here you're saying it's our indigenous group who have already faced so much attack, so much decimation. It will be very easy to attack them. And it may lead to their destruction.
If this dangerous trend continues, Ramani, where are we heading?
I don't know, Saroj. We already went there twice. we went towards civil wars of different kinds in our country. We've seen falling apart of law and order several times in our country. And every time, I am sorry to say, it is the state-sponsored action that generated reactions that then got difficult for the state to control. So I have a feeling if this continues, if they continue to permit the use of hate speech against the indigenous, for instance, as one example, I think there could be serious repercussions in the future.
Thank you very much, Ramani. That's Ramani Muttettuwegama, the former Commissioner of Sri Lanka Human Rights Commission, as well as a human rights activist and human rights lawyer. Thank you, Ramani.
Thanks, Saroj.